See the truth reflecting back in 1,000 different eyes.
Welcome back to the Fathers Making Progress podcast, the podcast that talks stronger communities and positive families through strengthening fathers. Today's episode is Fatherhood, Holistic Wellness, Whole Man, Whole Family. We're talking mind, body, and soul because you can't pour from an empty cup. So, hey, we with some brothers who help fill that cup back up. First, I want to shout out our sponsor, which is Better Together. Better Together, which is a F&P program geared towards healthier co-parenting, healthier co-parent relationships. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So I want you to introduce our guests, Brother Ambrose Wilson Brown, founder of Miss Bebo.
Perfect.
Miss Bebo. Oh, I got it. Okay, Miss Bebo Fitness and Deep Health and Mental Health Performance Coach. He also works with the MCW Cancer Center. And has, worked for a long time in the community, just promoting, spaces of wellness and healing. And my brother right here, Shirak Berry, longtime F&P alum, known as the Activeist, baby. After getting up to, what you say, like 230? Getting up to
255.
255. After getting up to 255 pounds in 2022, he transformed his life and became an endurance athlete, competing in all types of runs, triathlons, charity events, and also works with, health food initiatives and, personal training initiatives, geared towards, just health and wellness. So we just going to talk, we're going to find out more about these brothers. I threw out the titles, but we're going to learn who they be, who they are as fathers, as family members, as just who they are. And we're going to, go into some facts and cap. And, we're going to talk the Love Blueprint, and we are going to do some rapid fire. But first and foremost, who you be? Who are you from your own word? Who wants to go first?
I'll let Brother Ambrose go first.
Ball got packed. Volley.
Perfect. Ambrose Wilson Brown, go by Coach Ambrose.
Yeah.
You said I've been coaching for about 20 years now.
Let's go.
So I played college football and found that coaches always helped me advance my life. And teachers as well. I love school and football. So I thought I'd be a history teacher and coach football, but I graduated during the recession. So I found myself struggling, looking for meaningful work, which landed me into the fitness field. So personal training started out 2006. Started my own business in 2008 officially. And I've been just picking up skill sets along the way.
Beautiful.
As you mentioned, now focus mostly on the mindset side of things because that's where I landed. But as you said in the introduction, it's about whole body, whole person wellness. So that's my business, coaching, deep health coaching, work with some athletes as well. My day job is at MCW, working with men's health at the Cancer Center, focus on primarily African-American men surviving after prostate and colorectal cancer.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you're a new dad, right? A new word dad. New dad.
New word dad. So I'm not sure if you know, but we got another one coming in October.
What? Hey, okay. Hey.
Yes,
Congratulations. Okay.
Just posted pictures yesterday or day before, so I've been holding that in for a while. But yes, we have Rowan, who is 18 months.
Okay.
And a soon-to-be baby in October.
Stair steps, baby. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Awesome, man. So let's keep it rolling. Who you be?
Yeah. So Shirak Berry, also known as the Activeist. First, just kudos to Brother Ambrose. Something I wanted to mention is that Coach Ambrose is the first black man in health and wellness that I came across when I moved to Milwaukee. He did
that's dope.
A workshop with City Year back when I was, working in City Year, and I was a core member.
Wow.
It was back in 2019. So, very honored to be sharing this space with him, but been honored to, stay connected with him ever since then. Because I don't know if that's how we met.
Wow.
See, I knew that. See, LaShandra, I'm a genius when I booked this show. No, I didn't know that, man. That's dope. That's dope.
But yeah, that was before, I decided to, really pour my life and give my life into health and wellness. Yeah. So great to see someone else do it, because I think, there's a lot of times you don't really see that. So, but yeah,
full circle.
Yep, Shirak Berry. What Shirak means is sharing.
Yeah.
And so I do work at an organization that does medically tailored meals. Mm-hmm. So what that means is I like to say, if you know Meals on Wheels, we do meals instead of pills. So treating diet-related diseases. Yep.
I love that.
Yep. Just out here slinging produce, treating diet-related diseases by treating the diet that causes the disease. And, I was at an event, it was last week, right? Thursday. Yeah. Oh, a week ago. About a week ago. I got to share, like Shirak, share some meals with Brother Ambrose, it's something that I'm very passionate about. But yeah, as I mentioned, endurance athlete, currently training to do the full Ironman, and also in August I'll be competing in USA national trials here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah. So that's coming up, man. So they call you the Jacktivist. Like, where did that name come from?
I was doing this push-up challenge thing to register people to vote back in 2020, back when I was doing like election work.
Okay.
And I would do like workout challenges and post it on Instagram. And, I remember saying, yeah, I'm an activist, because I think like, at least among my coworkers, like there wasn't a lot of people doing like very active stuff.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get a different audience, because I'm like, we're registering the people to vote. We got to go to different places and go to different activities if we're trying to register new voters.
Right.
If we're going to where people are already talking politics, people more than likely are already registered.
That's right.
So that's why I was doing it, and I was working with the organization Voces de la Frontera, and I was actually the second most like getting new registers in the state. So like the name The Jacktivist just came to me, but I never made my Instagram that. I just had it in the back of my head because just out of embarrassment, because it's so silly. But I think
that name dope, man.
I grew to love it. I grew to love it a lot, and especially like sometimes I just get recognized, and like some people don't know. Some people think my name is Jack. So.
But it's funny because I think I'm trying to remember. It was a couple weeks ago. I think you had came by the office, and somebody actually described like, yeah, one of the brothers came by. I hadn't seen him in a while. The big jacked one, the guy who always be having the meals. And I was like Shirak.
Yeah. I dropped off like 40 meals to FMP.
Yep. Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you for that too. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Man, and just to kind of give some background, I met this brother. And that's how in community we were. I'm just actually reminded of this story as we talk about going out and finding new ways to engage people, because that was actually coming out of the pandemic, being able to come out and knock doors again. Shirak was actually working with a community organization we partner with, and he would go out with us and talk to folks. At that time, we were still trying to get people to come to the Washington Park Urban Ecology Center, who were rooted right there in the neighborhood. It's this, for those who don't know, it's this neighborhood. Milwaukee is home to probably more parks than anywhere in the country besides, I think, Denver, Colorado. And we have these just really, really cool urban ecology centers right in the heart of the hood that sometimes people in the heart of the hood don't know nothing about. Yeah. So we were out trying to get the word out, because first of all, we had one of our groups that was about to start running there. And, I would go watch Shirak, and he was just he was so dedicated, and a lot of the neighbors knew him already. And, he just really, he really took that serious, like just that spirit of, hey, if you want to, talk to folks who aren't, you got to go to where folks aren't. Yeah, and that's how he even carried it, even there. And he came to the group himself, and hey, man, he never left, man. He's been he been down with it.
Not even a dad yet, just a poser. It's funny. I think I'll quickly mention, so that was like the first book bag giveaway.
That's right.
The book bag giveaway event that's been a growing thing in that community. Mm-hmm. So that was, the first year it started was when I was working there, and so that I don't want to say I found it, but I was the first one. I made it a thing.
Yeah, and it's got, like, to your point, it's gotten bigger, and it's been one of those things where, like, that's our official event too. Yes. Like we're not like, I'm not a big fan of just like, why would we have a back to school event when it's 4 of them going on? Like if we have partners that are doing something powerful, we need to latch on and support that and make that, instead of having 2 good ones, let's have 1 great one.
And so it's just great for me to see that relationship, that that connection flourished.
That's right.
But what I'm excited to say is that this year, guess what? I'm going to be there with 1,000 healthy meals to give out.
There we go. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like just beautiful. And like we got the healthcare organizations involved, and I think mentors involved this year. He's right. I mean, it's just like it just keeps getting bigger and better. Yeah. And now we're gonna have some healthy meals, man.
Yes.
Dope. So Ambrose, is like you founded Miss Bebo Fitness.
Yes, sir.
What gap were you trying to fill for busy parents and professionals?
Well, back then, man, paying the bills, if I'm being honest, right? So that was a long time ago. So Bebo's had a couple of different iterations over the years, but these days it's really stemming from my gaps, right? So my gap was a young athlete, underweight. I had to figure out how to eat to gain weight, right? My coaches said lift weights, you'll get bigger, faster, stronger. That was half of the equation, so I picked up nutrition. I met you when I was picking up mindfulness, working in education. That's where I met Shirak. So that was closing that gap for me of being more comfortable in myself and more aware of how to be more in community. So these days, as a new dad, over 40, I'm trying to help people where I am, maybe a little bit behind me, and reaching out people a little bit in front of me. But the work now is how do I maintain my level of activity, mobility, endurance, strength for at least 20 years. I got 2 small children.
Oh, yeah. You chasing bad boys around.
Exactly, right? So I have the knowledge, right? But now it's about the practice, really the discipline of doing the things that I know I should do. And sometimes really at this point, it's about the boundaries. I told someone yesterday, I got to really know you, love you, and trust you to hang out after 5 o'clock. Yeah. Because after 5 o'clock, I don't be nowhere but home.
And I find myself, I struggle with that so much because for me, and it served me very well, and it's a big part of like the last episode last week we talked about purpose, and one thing that's really, really steeped in my purpose is my why. And a lot of times with the why is like I just see all these possibilities, with stuff, and that bites me in my tail sometimes because it's like folks will come calling. I know I really ain't got the time, but I see so many possibilities with being involved and being a part. Yeah. So now I'm just really finding myself prioritize, like in the grand scheme of everything that we're trying to accomplish, does my presence really accomplish? And another question I find myself asking myself in that same breath is, just because I can, should I?
Yeah. Well, it's a trade-off. The bigger impact you want to have in the world, the less time you're going to have. And, it's something that makes sense. But I also think just being able to collaborate, what we were talking about, and making sure it's like, I can't be there, but I know I'm going to send somebody there. And people,
getting better at that too.
Yeah. And people understanding that, delegating it. Because sometimes it's like, I don't show up to certain things. I'm like, it's not even just that I had something else to do. I'm like, I just don't have the energy right now. I did 20 things. Something I was asking myself, I wasn't feeling well maybe a couple of weeks ago. Not feeling sick, but just feeling like generally drained. And then I just had asked myself a question. I'm like, when's the last time I've only worked 40 weeks?
40 hours in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And I'm like, and,
I still can't think of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I looked up my like PTO time, and I have like 160 hours. I need to take some days off. And I decided to take, in terms of something that I'm bad at in terms of health is like slowing down and say, I need to take some days off. I don't need. It's like I don't need a special occasion. Just don't go into work.
And I'm working. And I've cut. Like I'm supposed to have tomorrow off. Yeah. But it's sometimes different because we I got some things that I have to get done. Yeah. So it's just like I got. But I've already been just like kind of like okay. I've incremented that down. It's like hour and a half hard stop. Take my son to Summerfest. Yeah. That's how it's gonna have to go. Like seriously, man. And you talked about the mindfulness, like the mindfulness and working with F&P many times on the mindfulness, and I still appreciate those lessons. Even going like because Ambrose, when you talk about some cool transitions, like I remember when we were still in the pandemic and not able to meet every week, Ambrose was able to like. Pretty, help us through some pretty tough times of social isolation where guys are getting these practices and exercises. So let me ask, like, what's one breathing or grounding? Maybe you can hit us with something real quick. One breathing or grounding technique that you think every father should know.
And before I forget, FMP was the first people during the pandemic that gave space to the idea of doing what we did in person, virtually. So I never forgot that. Thank you. So our team. Our team appreciated that inspiration from Milwaukee because we were struggling across the world trying to deliver these really intimate, experiential practices over Zoom. And because of working with you, we're able to continue doing that with energy.
Awesome.
Yeah, when it comes to breath work, there's so many techniques, and I think the pandemic popularized what we were doing for about 10 years prior. But the one technique that I always would share is anything that's vagal tone. Shirak was mimicking, sharing the power breath, which is awesome because that taps into the vagal tone. So just one thing to know with the vagal tone is it's a nerve. It's the back of the stem of your brain that attaches to most of your major organs, and what we have is the ability to tap into that with the breath, with some constriction in the back of the throat. And it has two things that it can do. It can either rev you up, hence the power breath. It can get you more energized. I tend to need that more. I'm more of a low mood person. But some people have anxiety, or they have, they're busy minded.
Yeah,
they need
too
to
much going on.
They need to be revved down. So the way that you can do that is by breathing out slower and longer than you breathe in for the revving down. The power breath takes a little bit more of an instruction, but basically breathe faster, and you'll feel yourself revving up. So vagus nerve breathing. If you Google that, you'll find tons of videos on it, and you can do either one for focus, energy, or for relaxation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, vagus nerve breathing. That's deep. So, you bridge mindset, behavior change, and physical fitness. And this is a question for either of you. Like, where do most of us get stuck?
Health is habits. I think the issue is that, for how I see it, a lot of people see their goals and what they want to gain when they talk about health. Oh, I want to maybe spend less on medical bills, or I want to feel better, I want to look better. And thinking about the gains are the outcome. They're overlooking actually how you get there. And it's building the habits, but it's also what are you willing to sacrifice. And what I say a lot about habits, people don't really stop habits, they replace them. And so I think a part of it is the planning. Okay. I think people I have the strong desire, but what the greatest thing a mentor has ever said to me, if you fail to plan, you've planned to fail. People don't plan it out. And I think what endurance sports has taught me to do, because I'm a big passion person, following my heart, and just I show up to stuff. Endurance sports forced me to sit down and plan. Like Ironman requires a lot of planning. It requires fueling because of how you digest food while you're going.
Right.
And so it's a strategy game. And so not only did it require a lot of planning for the race, it required me to plan a lot for life. And when am I going to get my meals? When am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? I got these workout clothes, X, Y, and Z. And thinking through those small details, once I got those done well and got into the habits, a lot of just weight loss or muscle gain, whatever I'm trying to do, became easy, just autopilot. And it's like, instead of feeling successful I feel successful once I get to the finish line, whatever that your finish line is. Yeah. I can be successful every day if I do the habits well, to the point where I don't have to think about them anymore.
So even just through the marathons and the endurance sports, like you learn life lessons that carried on through everything.
Yes. Endurance sports is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Endurance sports, you have to change how you live. And that's the great thing about it, because I see endurance sports and kind of my dream. I was doing this run group. It's kind of on a hiatus, but Endure MKE.
Okay.
But using endurance sports for all sorts of people, but a lot of Black men, as trauma-informed care, because it is. And it helps you have something you're aiming for to justify changing your life. Because asking someone, if I'm having a conversation and I'm like, hey, you want to put on muscle, you need to change how you live. That's a hard ask.
Oh, yeah.
But when you can get something that's such a big commitment and so hard to imagine doing, like a marathon, that's something that will invoke a change into people. And I've seen it. I just want to see it more in our community, and I think that's not going to happen if we're not leading it.
That's real, and I'll just speak, and we've had these conversations offline. It's just I know earlier we just kind of talked about some mistakes we've made as men and as fathers, and it's just I've had some lifestyle issues where I'm just gonna be real. It's I've been bad to my body. I've been bad to my body. I've abused, drugs and alcohol. I've done some things that just really haven't really served me well in my older age, like even just with sports. And it's so funny. I'm having flashbacks even as you're talking about these crazy diets that they put us on for football and just some of these things
water.
where I lose and gain weight in these crazy cycles of time to where I'm it's like I struggle even into my adulthood, and it's just like what you're saying even is inspiring me. Like, it's like, man, you gotta do something different, because you want to be able to be here 30 years from now. Where you know.
Along with that, I would say people also get stuck in their emotions. And I would say the deceptive emotions, deceptive messaging, and that's messaging meaning like self-talk. Interesting, this year I had more black men than ever sign up for coaching with me, and I was shocked and surprised and excited about it. A 60-day program, I threw in an extra 30 days to make it 90 days, a complete program. And unfortunately, 6 men joined, 5 were black men. None of the black men made it through the program, and I don't actually know why. I don't know why, because I didn't have that closing session with them. But what my wonder is what emotions were coming up that they weren't sharing, because we checked in regularly. How are you? How are things going?
Right? and for me, and I'll share this and just be vulnerable on here one time. I was actually doing really well for a while. And I'll tell you, you talk about emotions. My son, who I lost, he would a lot of times be the ones who pushing me, like, Dad, you've been exercising, Dad, you've been working out. Hey, I'll go out with you. And it's like when that happened and when I lost him, for I'll say a few years. Yeah. Going to the gym, exercising, even running in the park, even sometimes going out canvassing was triggering. Yeah. And I didn't even understand why. Yeah. Yeah.
And these are the type of things that, are beyond my scope. But when it comes up, that's where you can make the collaborative connection. Say, do you know Brother Kwaku? Yeah. Do you know Sister So-and-so who does this? Yeah. Because if we're not aware of these things, that's where the mindfulness comes in. It makes you aware. And not to say that, no pain, no gain, get over your emotions, but be aware of them. Because if you don't like to go swimming, even though you were a D1 swimmer, because of the way that the coaches used to get on you, maybe you should go walking or go for a run. Yeah. But just know that your body remembers swimming in a way that's not healthy for you. So don't force yourself to go do that.
Yeah. I think for me, and again, I respect what you said, like outside of my scope. So, I'm not a therapist, anything like that. But I can talk about like my experience of, my weight gain, just certain, traumatic experiences. Yeah. And I just couldn't get myself to go back to the gym. Like, I would plan it, and I just couldn't get myself to go in the doors. There's sometimes I would drive there, walk there, and just turn around. And I just felt, this overwhelming pain. But I think that a part of it was how I was thinking about trying to get back to where I was. And then thinking, like, in the past is where the bad things happened. And what happened for me, once I did something new in triathlons, I started thinking about something new and exciting. Yeah. And it changed how I felt about it. Instead of me trying to relive, because mourning, and sometimes, mourning is not just the loss of a person, but just, situations are different.
Oh, no doubt.
I had to learn to mourn that the past is over and that there's certain things that have changed. And sometimes people have to mourn this with their body in terms of injuries and X, Y, and Z. And I have my fair share of injuries. But I also had to learn to be in the present. And I think that that's what a lot of swimming does for me. Swimming forces you to be in the present.
Yeah. Because you ain't in the present, you're going to drown.
Oh, yeah. It forces you to be in the present.
That's powerful. I think there's actually an epidemic right now with men, probably women too, but for men, this does come up with some of my college buddies that they talk a lot about what they used to be.
Yes.
And how we used to be these athletes. Yes. And it's like, brother, we ain't played ball in 20 years. We talking about college. Obviously that's a big part of my life. I give a lot of kudos to it. But what are you doing? What are you doing now? And I think having these new goals, these new aspirations. I'm not a runner. Not that I can't run, is that my body doesn't respond to it well. But the question is, what can I do? Well, I can throw on a ruck and go for a long walk. and that could be the thing I'm doing now. I can go for a row. I can do the August row. So I think that's something that I'm looking at trying to figure out. So I love the idea of Endure MKE, Shirak's men's fitness group, because I think we need to figure out what that looks like, because we have these men who are stuck in the past and we're not looking to the future.
Yeah, you know, and the most beautiful moment of Endure MKE, and I have a favorite. There was a lot of beautiful things that happened. There was a brother, and it was like the day he was getting out of being incarcerated, and he was with us. Yeah. And we did 3 miles with him, and we're barely in a mile, and he's out of gas. And he's like, and they're like, "Are we gonna turn back?" And I'm like, "No." We got 2 more miles. I'm not, like, you know, this is. I'm like, I think people didn't understand. I'm like, Endure MKE. I'm like, this ain't other run groups,
right?
You know.
Right.
And I was like, I pushed him through those last 2 miles, and
he made it.
Yeah, he made it.
He made it through.
And he made it. But that's the thing. It's like, you can do more than you think you can.
That's right.
But I think too much time in the community. There's too many times where we let people off. And it's like, it is not that I'm trying to hurt you. I'm trying to teach you that discomfort isn't the end.
That's deep. And I was like, so how do we build community that keeps men accountable and well?
I think the check-in process is huge. One thing we started doing, we heard you talk about rites of passage earlier.
Yeah.
Actually, are you aware of the Crucible Project? You ever hear of that?
The Crucible Project? No, I'm not familiar.
We'll talk more about. So I did this about 2 years ago. I started to do these long retreats, silent retreats for meditation practices, breathing practices, and I was looking for something. And I was at actually a bachelor party in Miami, and discipline of not drinking. I met a guy who does this, yearly. There was Crucible Project.
Ooh, bachelor party in Miami, no drinking.
I know. I was trying to lock in.
He put that on all Madden mode right there.
Yeah, I was locking in. Shout out to Tony. So I went there, and this is the one thing I took away from this. It's called the Selah check-in. Selah check-in. So it kind of hits on more than one thing that we spoke about earlier. So you start off with today I feel.
Okay.
And you just say how you feel, and it's not a little this or kind of this. Just today I'm sad, I'm excited, and I'm worried. And you say why, but you do it all in 1 minute. So over the course of this weekend, we did this a bunch of times with men you don't know. And obviously that brings up emotions and sensations in the body. And I was like, you know what? I want to continue doing that with my buddy, my friend that I mentioned earlier. So I've invited a few men over the course of the last 2 years to do it. And some stick, some don't stick, but that's an accountability thing that we do every Wednesday. And that lends to then a check-in afterwards. Hey, Terron, I heard you say this on the voice memo this morning. Like, you want to check in about that? Yes or no? But if I hear you saying you want to lose weight or you want to quit smoking or you're gambling every Wednesday and we're friends, I get the right to check in on you and be like, hey man, like what's going on with that?
That's deep, because it's vulnerability.
Yeah.
And accountability and making a safe space around that, and that's what a lot that is. I think that is a very viable, because a lot of us don't feel like we have that, like, somewhere where you can do that and not face judgment or not look weak or not, be on Front Street or Yeah,
I think a traumatic experience a lot of us don't talk enough about. It's all the ribbon. Or us ripping on each other as a kid. I think we at the event that Brother Ambrose and I was at last week, and there was a guy who was talking about, he was a professional athlete, and he was talking about dealing with people making side comments. When he was down, people had stuff to say. When he's up, he's like, oh, you think you're this. And I think not enough people checking when someone's doing that, is like interrupting that. And there's just certain relationships I have with black men in the city, of all sorts of, I've worked in all type of programs, people coming out of incarceration. And I think, like, one of them, basically, he said something to an extent, like, I'm like the only person he kind of feels safe to talk to about certain stuff too.
That's heavy.
Yeah. And I just, and that's great, but I felt really bad hearing that. I'm like, that's just not right.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you got a family, you got friends, you grew up, and you're from this city, and it's like, and it's me. You don't feel like you got that nowhere else. And I think if you're bottled up all the time, and I think when I was talking about health as habits, I'm not just talking about how we sleep and how we eat, but how do we emotionally respond to stuff. And a lot of people since childhood, a lot of men have learned to emotionally respond by shutting down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kind of goes back to what Brother Ambrose said. He's like, what are those feelings that weren't shared?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Shutting down and internalizing.
Yeah.
You know, because it got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It got to go somewhere. You know, that's where that's where the alcohol comes in. That's where the drugs come in. That's where the overeating come in. Sometimes that's where the over-sexualization come in. You know, I mean, we find it's like, you know, we still dealing with it.
Yeah.
But are we dealing with it in a healthy way? Are we dealing with it in a way, or are we dealing with it in a way where we just have decided to just like kind of lay on like in war when they lay on the grenade, you know, and just kind of just take one, just destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a part of that is guidance. You know, if no one's taught someone what to do, really, can you blame them from finding something that's unproductive? Like, I don't know what to do, and so you're just telling me what not to do. But what should I be doing? You know?
Yeah.
Man, that's heavy. Man, I want to move forward. Facts of cap. Let's go to facts of cap. You know, facts of cap. This is where I make some statements, and we just say whether they facts or it's cap and why. Y'all ready?
And why? Okay.
All right. So the first one. Facts of cap. If you're not sick, you're healthy. Facts of cap. If you're not sick, you're healthy.
Cap.
Why is that cap? What's the difference between being not sick and truly well?
Yeah. So I think we need to distinguish between being fit, being healthy, and being well, right? So being fit, I'm able to do a thing. I can lift something. I can run. Usually it's a metric thing, right? And being fit is typically what we want when we're younger. And we think we want it when we're older, but as I get older, I'm like, I want to be healthy and more well, and being fit drives that. But being healthy typically is people thinking about blood pressure, cholesterol, the absence of disease.
Yeah.
And most of our talk today, I think, is more about wellness, relationships, emotional coping, mental health. So you can be fit but not healthy or well. You can be well and not fit or healthy. So that holistic approach is making sure you're able to do all three. But being sick, yeah, you could be fit and sick. You could be able to bench press 315 and still have diabetes or high blood pressure, right? You could be really well at talking to men, right? And you can't walk a mile, right? So you want to be able to understand fitness, health, and wellness and how those things all work together.
Definitely, and be cognizant of it and live in it. That's heavy.
Well, I would say cap too. I see it a little differently.
Okay.
I would say just because I'm not sick now, like I would say health is a trajectory. It's going a direction, right? So it's like I can be on the north side, but I'm heading south. And I can say, hey, I'm not on the south side. And it's like, I am technically on the north side, but I'm heading south. And so there's people who, you're not sick, you're heading there.
Right.
And it's like, we have to talk about the direction of your health, really.
That's a good point, because, you know, just talking earlier points, we talked about like being amazing athletes and doing some great things that we can't even do anymore. But just like even when we were doing them, and I have to be honest, I was guilty of this too. When I was a good athlete, it's like I had some very destructive habits at that very same time. I know people to this day who are supposed to be our age who were amazing athletes, but it's like things that they were doing to themselves at the time where, you know, some of them are in wheelchairs if they're not dead already. You know, they're in their 40s and 50s and gone, man. You know,
And the brief thing I would say is just athleticism has nothing to do with health. Athleticism has everything to do with capitalism. And we have to stop.
Ooh, say more.
We have to stop seeing that my well-being is tied to how much money I can make on an activity. That like my body almost is for sale. And it's like, you know, this is hypothetical I give to people. I'm like, let's just say you had a job and you know how, you know, they talk to you about the benefits and whatever, blah, blah. But let's say they had like, you know, here's the drawbacks page and they're like, you know, after 2 years, you know, we can take a leg from you. You know, it's like someone say, I'd never sign it. I'm like, what if they gave you $2 million? No. And I'm like, oh, so what you're saying is that your body's not for sale. Now, when I put it that way, people understand it. Yeah. But when we talk about sports and, you know, concussions and breaks, and it's like, well, that's just what it costs. And I'm like, what you're saying is that he's like, well, my body's for sale if you pay me enough.
That's reality.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's real reality.
Don't let me go too deep into this.
No. Seriously. I mean, especially those of us who, you know or worked with like folks who just like took it all the way, went to the D1 colleges or played some NFL ball or whatever. I mean, it's like the sacrifice. Like, you know,
we do it for less, you know, for a job that pays on a regular paycheck. our time spending serving the community. I think about that too, right? Like how much is our time and our energy worth that we give to other people? So I love that. I love that connection to sports.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
even with that, that's right. Like just even because there is a level of like just say traveling all over the country, and speaking at events, and working and writing these things up for people and giving your intellectual properties and doing like there's a level of that can kill you.
Yes. And kind of what Brother Ambrose said.
You ain't got to see a football field.
But Coach Ambrose said a little earlier, where he's like, I'm working. He's like, got into health and wellness, pay the bills, right? And I'm like, that's kind of been my life goal, is making a healthy living, helping people live healthy.
Yeah.
And I think that's the economy I want to participate in.
Yeah.
Man, facts of cap. Therapy is only for people in crisis.
Cap.
Cap. Yeah.
Cap.
Yeah. So, because you talked about the benefits of the therapy. So it's like, how can support work begins before things fall apart? Because as the reason I asked that question like that, because as men, just like with anger, for example, the reason a lot of us don't deal with the lower level of anger, like the 2 or 3, the minor irritances, as opposed to the 4 and 5, where we just really ticked off, and that's why a lot of people explode. Is like this. That's just kind of like times how we're conditioned as men. Like even with mental health and with crises, like we're taught not to deal with the minor irritances. It's just like we get to the point where things are too late, or things are really blowing up. So like how how does support work begin before we get to that crisis?
Happy you said support work. So it took me a while to say cap, only because I struggled, because I never have had therapy personally. So I was thinking about that from that lens. But when you say support services, I think about dialectical behavior therapy as opposed to cognitive behavioral therapy, which I didn't understand that until I started teaching mindfulness and started having the people that did traditional therapy ask me to help them with the breathing and the mindfulness side of things. And I didn't understand what was happening there. It's like, because you don't practice that, you don't know how to teach it. Just like I'm not credentialed to be able to teach talk therapy either. So what I found is that, especially for the Black boys I was focused on working with, they do very well with learning how to regulate their emotions prior to crisis. So in moments when they are in crisis, they have this tool already built in. So I 100% agree with that. I'm guessing the same would work for talk therapy, but I don't have that experience. But yeah, 100%. You want to always have the skill when you're not under stress, so that when you are in stress, you've built up the capacity to be able to perform.
Man, kids are so resilient, man. Young people, like almost every, and we underestimate them. Like almost every time I'm just like learning these new skills or these new ways of looking at dealing with, especially like stuff like dealing with trauma. Yeah. It's just like just like that, they catch it right on it, man. I never forget. I can go into it, but it's a long thing about the way we hold trauma, and a lot of times, with the short explanation is, it's like a lot of times with trauma, it's like a lot of things boil down to the stories we're telling ourselves. It's like what actually happened, and the story that we made from it. Yeah. And it's so funny. And I was teaching this. It's like a whole 3-day long class that we did for adults. I did a quick rundown with some of the boys in the neighborhood, and it was just amazing. Like just hearing them, even how they were talking to each other. Like, I heard one young man ask another, he's like, man, why you make that mean that? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you make that mean that? I'm like, because that's what we do, right? We mean it making machines, like it is like, but what I'm saying is like, it's sometimes with us as older adults stuck in our ways, it take a little longer but they got it right away. Like you said, just for that.
That's where talk therapy is helpful, right? You get to bring about those stories and have someone be a mirror for you.
That's right. Yeah.
And also those stories have emotions tied to them. Mm-hmm. That's why the behavior, that's why the breath work is helpful, because you have to sit with that emotion, because there is no story happening, but you're feeling a certain thing, because the body keeps a score of that trauma and those stories that we tell ourselves.
The body keeps a score.
Yeah. So, facts of cap. Eating healthy is too expensive for regular families.
Oh, like Shirak can take this. That's definitely cap, but I want to hear Shirak's point on this one.
I mean, like that's hard, because it depends on where you live. I mean, like, I would say in a perfect society, that would be cap. But it's facts if you are a low income, you work multiple jobs, and you have to drive somewhere or take the bus to another place. So expensive, I don't just think of it as how much it costs, but what if I don't have a lot of time?
The time investment,
and I don't have it around me. So you can eat healthy on a budget, but I think the biggest thing is it shouldn't take you, a trip across the city to do it.
Yeah, and that's becoming even increasingly hard, right? Like we've had here in Milwaukee, we've had a bunch of
pick and saves are gone.
Yeah, grocery stores just closing.
Yeah. And I'm happy to talk about. I'm making videos starting tomorrow in partnership with the African American Roundtable about their Feed the Change campaign of getting investment into our grocery stores. So, and I'll leave it at that.
No, awesome. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Facts or cap? Your bad habits only hurt you.
Oh, cap.
Cap.
Yeah, cap. So it's like as men, as fathers, how do our good habits, bad habits, or lack thereof, shape the next generation?
It's so funny, man. Like having a new baby, I've been tripping out at how the things I've heard men say over the years, and things that I thought to be true, I'm experiencing them. And the one thing that is obviously true is that your children are watching everything that you do. Mm-hmm. Rowan picks up the baby and she pats her baby because we pat her. She walks her hands behind her back. We don't know why, but it must be something doing it at daycare because we don't do that. So she's doing things. She has her own personality, obviously, but she's watching us. So for me, that's actually the biggest driving motivating factor is that I want my children to do healthy things. So I better do the healthy things. There's no TV until after she goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Because she'll grab the controller and want to watch TV because we're watching TV. And we notice those things. So, and not to call out any men, in a way that's not helpful, but I think that's something that, as you mentioned earlier about how to help men be healthier, I think it's really a superpower, like being a dad. I'm like, what's going on with you, brother? Like if you have 3 children and you're not able to lock in for 90 days on your goal and your habit, because I know you want to be here for your children too. I'm still working towards that, how to have those conversations. But for me, it's been obvious that the things that I'm doing are setting the path for my children. And I'm excited about that because it's really helping me stay more motivated without having to think about it because it's just fact.
Man, that's real. That's real. Man, that. Ooh.
And what I would say going in a different direction, when we were talking about people being stuck in their ways, a lot of people who refuse to face their habits. Really, what you teach the younger generation is a fixed mindset. I am this way, and I will always be this way. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't just think some of it is not just pretending or trying your best to pretend that, I got everything figured out. But the willingness to show and demonstrate how I can break a bad habit and be aware of it is, I think, what kids need to see the most.
Beautiful. That's real. Man, so, hey, I want to move forward to the love. This is the love blueprint where we talked about healthy relationships and how our relationships, shape us. So what's your relationship status, guys?
Married.
Yeah, okay. Married, okay.
Single.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, how has getting, mind, body, and soul, changed the way that you show up for the people you love?
Yeah. I think personally, for me, fitness was selfish. I want to perform physically. I think that the health thing kind of goes along with that. So for me, my challenge with deep health, the deep health model is physical, mental, nutrition, social, purposeful, and then relational. So for me, it's always been the emotional and the relational. So if I'm upset, I shut down. I can't communicate with my partner. Now the problem that's a small problem becomes a big problem. Then I go out and have inappropriate relationships, which makes a bigger problem. So for me, having the commitment of, at first being celibate for a while, right? Getting my drinking in order, understanding who I'm hanging out with, and then choosing to date. I think that was for me on the path that I'm on now. So choosing to date was different. Never heard about that until I was late into my 30s.
Yeah.
I'm dating on purpose as opposed to just hanging out and doing whatever, which led to talks about marriage and children and lifestyle early on in that process. So when it came to dating my now wife, it was a completely different process for me. So then we got engaged, married, and planning children was kind of in that line. So for me, it's been really is made me grow up and mature and talk and communicate in a way that I haven't before. And that's a continual daily thing, right? The check-in with my wife, understanding how she's feeling, how I'm feeling, what that looks like together, separately, and then how do we move forward from there? And that started off with me being intentional about slowing down, getting my emotions in check, and then actually, to Shiraka's point, planning my relationships, right? Not just letting them happen, but planning what that looked like.
That is so powerful. And just like socially as men, like, I mean, the norm, that's not the norm that is taught to us.
No.
And just like I said, it's just like when I think about fatherhood and all the fatherhood situations and all the co-parenting situations, and all these just like kind of some of the things that we kind of sat around the circle and discussed, a lot of it is rooted in once upon a time, I didn't know how to do that. Even just me, myself, like, I mean, not on the level of discipline you did, but
be clear, that was because I bumped my head so much, and I'm like, yo, bro, if you don't figure this out, you're gonna be by yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
but I'm just saying, like, the reason I'm shaking my head so hard is because the whole intentionality around the celibacy and around the not dating and around the getting my mind right, and why, like, I've just been in some bad stuff. Like, why would I be in something that was so terrible? Because even if it's 90-10, where you holding the 10% of the cards, it's like you stuck around for something that was terrible. What is it about you?
Yeah.
I mean, just like being able to wash your palate and get that out and just figure out what I want to move forward and do. Like, that's something a lot of times that we don't learn. Like, that's one of the things we talk about in Better Together is just like not jumping into serial relationships and just being able to take that time. Hey, man, there needs to be a break between that and the next thing,
I don't know where I've heard this, and I should Google it, but I heard it once, and it was really deep. But a lot of people look for someone else to love them so they can have permission to love themselves. As if someone else likes me, then that's evidence that I can like myself. And self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. It's the reputation you have with yourself. So it's not that you can't build it in, you have to be completely isolated, but you have to be able to think about who I actually am when people aren't around. Do I like that person? And if the answer is no, why would I expect someone I love to like that person once they become alone with me?
That's simple logic right there.
But also, and the biggest thing,
yeah.
it is my responsibility to act like a person I would like.
Yes.
Not someone else. And this is where I get the hold up with some other stuff I see. It's not someone else's responsibility to teach me to be someone I like. How can I even do that?
Yeah. That's heavy. That's heavy. It's just like, and this is where we get jammed up because it's another side to that too. Like how it's like I'm showing up right so that I could attract right, and be with right. But it's just like, how do we keep our wellness a priority when the people we love need us? Like, just like how do we keep that as priority of being like these people that we're doing this for, being there for these people that we're doing this for? How do we do that and keep that priority?
I mean, I think you go back to communication and setting boundaries and being honest. For example, I mentioned the 5 to 7, like time block. I still go train 2 days a week at 6 o'clock. Okay. That's communicated. And then that time is bought back somewhere else. But my partner is Caucasian, white, so she goes up north for 4th of July. Okay. And I don't go.
Okay.
There's a story that I have for myself and our history with the 4th of July, especially in an all-white town. So I don't do that. And for her, it was a conversation that, it took some, understanding where it's like, I don't feel good in that situation, that setting on this weekend. I'll come up for our niece's birthday in 2 weeks, but I'm never going to come up for the 4th. Right. And
was it because of the original 4th of July, everybody was celebrating, but we had to serve food because,
or even when I came up late after Juneteenth, they're like, "What's Juneteenth?" I'm like, "Wow, it's not my job to teach you, but I'll teach my nephew." So I put my nephew to the side and explain to him what Juneteenth was. But I think it's about having the things that keep you feeling good and operating, being able to state that in a way that isn't maybe matter of fact, and you're open to having some flexibility. But there's certain things that I won't give up, and I make sure that people that know me, like me, and trust me understand that. And if they don't like it, understandable. But there's certain things I have to do. And that scheduling and that blocking time and that making sure that I feel emotionally not even safe, because I don't need emotional safeness. So much as it's just a weird thing to be a place where you don't feel respected, and you're there by choice, and you don't have to be there.
But I like the fact that y'all, you all have the kind of relationship where you're able to have that open dialogue and communication around that. So she obviously was pretty receptive.
Yes, 100% receptive.
Yeah. Man, that's heavy. You want to?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard because it depends on the person, I think. I think that, we're all men who are like financially supporting ourselves for the most part, I assume. If you're a child, right, if you're someone who's not emotionally or financially independent, or for whatever reason, you kind of have to get what you take. So that's difficult. I think it's like me talking about how can I do my job well and stay off my cell phone. And my cell phone, I get all these notifications for when the building, someone's ringing the doorbell. like my life actually demands that I'm on it. So I think a part of it is like there's a bigger outside of, because your question is more like a you thing. I think outside of the individual is like, how can we as communities create healthy spaces so that people aren't drained? I think like the question can't be on the individual.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Quick question, because Ambrose and I, like, I'm a try again, strike two marriage guy. And Ambrose is I'm happily married. Not going to stay that way. Do you think that that's in the cards for you one day?
I don't know.
Is that what you want?
It's hard to say because my life, just doing like Ironman's, like my life is so different from a lot of other people in the last 3 years that it's become very hard to relate to people. But the thing, and this is what's hard about it, is like, but I really like who I am right now. And so, but I when I hear a lot of stuff about people's relationship, I'm talking to, they're talking to the wife and this and that. I'm like, I get up and train at 4. I don't care what anyone thinks about that. And so, and maybe in a year or so after I've dealt with the Ironman, my feelings would change. But I do know this couple I did see, like this guy, he's actually like like the top black triathlete in the country. I happened to meet, and him and his wife both do triathlons together.
I was just thinking that, like, she gonna pull up on you one day. You gonna be running. She gonna.
So I mean, like, it's just, but I mean, like, you're talking about like people who do like what I'm doing at the level I'm doing it is literally like less. Like it's not only just that it's less than 1% of the general population. This is the crazy math of this. It's not just that it's less than 1% of the general population. Of that less than 1%, only 1% of that is black men.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then less than that is black women. So it's like, it would be an extremely rare individual. So that's kind of leaves me stuck.
That's deep.
And in the Midwest, I would think it's not the hot spot for endurance athletes.
Nope.
Wow. That's deep. That's heavy, Hey, we getting low on time. Yep. So rapid fire, y'all. Rapid fire to close out. Rapid fire word association. So I'm gonna say a word. Okay. You all give me the first honest thing that comes to mind. No overthinking. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. So Shirak, strength,
power,
fuel,
nutrition,
rest,
sleep.
Give it up for him, y'all. Give it up for him. All right, let's go. Okay, Ambrose.
All right.
Healing.
Breathe.
Discipline.
Dad.
Peace.
Me.
That's it, man. So hey, thank y'all, so much. So it's just like today reminded us that building well fathers builds well families, which builds well communities. You know, we owe it to ourselves and to the people that we love to take time for ourselves, you know, even as we take time for this community. And hey, you know, just like playing in the NFL can cause concussions and injuries. And I'm gonna stop hating on the NFL. Sports, period. NBA, baseball, whatever. You know, you can get concussions and injuries. It's just like, hey, you know, us in our work, you know, like if I'm not careful with all the cross country travel and not making time for myself, I mean, it can be bad. It can be bad for me and bad for my family. How much does your body really cost? Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, definitely. So, you know, just building healthy habits is a one thing at a time, you know.
Yeah. My shirt says "You are a worthy cause."
You are a worthy cause.
So it's kind of like the motto of the Activist. So like an activist is someone who works on a cause. Well, I'm saying you are a worthy cause. I'm saying work on yourself.
That's right. Yep. So we are mind, body, soul. If you don't take care of one, none of them work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. So thank you, Ambrose.
Thank you.
You know, thank you, Shirak. You know, the Activeist, come on. So, hey, once again, this episode is brought to us by Better Together. You know, if you co-parenting, if you got a baby dad, if you got a baby mom, if y'all having a tough time, come down to one of the classes. Check out the QR code right there, or, you know, go to fathersmakingprogress.org and, you know, sign up for the next Better Together class, because only you and your co-parent know what's best for your children. Hey, and until next time, hey, this is actually our last episode of the season. I can't believe we got 16 of them in, y'all. We got
the finale.
Yeah, this is the finale. Yeah, so we got 16. So it's funny. I just started about until next time. Like next time it's gonna be sometime in August. We gonna come back into August. You know, beginning of September. We gonna figure it out. But we will be back. This is beautiful. This has been beautiful. So we'll be back. We'll be back in the fall. You know, as the kids head back to school. You know, if you miss this, check out some of the other episodes. Hey, you know, watch them again. Watch them on repeat. But until next time, and when there's the next time, stay present, stay positive, and stay making progress. Peace.
Fathers making progress, F&P. Every day I strive to be a better me. Whole lot of scars, couple felonies.